This is one of the most important videos you can share with everybody in the world right now, because everybody has been affected by what I'm about to say, and because this video contains the mind-blowing admission of an organization that is completely responsible for ruining and destroying countless, tens of millions of lives, costing trillions in wasteful expenditures, and for creating the largest power and wealth transfer this world has ever seen. And when I say that organization is the Charlie Delta Charlie organization, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They, along with their big pharma partners in crime, the Whiskey Hotel Oscar Corporation, are working in concert with banking and corporate oligarchs in an all-out bid for control of every last individual on this planet. And content creators have been forced to talk in code in order to navigate around the censorship landmines carefully laid by the Silicon Valley gatekeepers who want to thrust us into a COVID 1984 Orwellian dystopia. So be it. Here's the mind-blowing admission from the Charlie Delta Charlie Corporation, and you can view this on the FDA.gov's own website to verify this for yourself. You'll find the link in the description and in the pinned comment. In the document entitled CDC 2019 Novel C Virus 2019 NCOV Real-Time RT-PCR Diagnostic Panel, which they record was produced on 7/13/2020, buried under a mountain of useless words on page 39 under the subtitle Performance Characteristics and Analytical Performance. On the last paragraph on the page, second sentence, you'll read this little gem. Quote, since no quantified virus isolates of the 2019 NCOV are currently available, assays, which are diagnostic tests, designed for detection of the 2019 NCOV RNA, were tested with characterized stocks of in vitro transcribed full-length RNA. Now let me read that again. No quantified virus isolates of the 2019 NCOV are currently available, but they design tests to detect something that hasn't been isolated and isn't available to test. Here's the deal. Everything that we know exists can be quantified or measured. What the Charlie Delta Charlie organization is admitting here is that it has no measurable amount of the convid that every psychopathic authoritarian has used as a justification to shut down the world's economy. They're saying it's unavailable. They're saying they don't have it. They can't prove its existence. They also use the word isolates, which means no isolated virus is available. It could also be said that nobody has an isolated specimen of this thing that you're supposed to be wearing a mask for, social distancing for, washing your hands 50 times a day with cancer-causing chemicals for, flattening the curve for, and having to stand in food bank lines for. What they're saying is that nobody has isolated the Cerveza bug. Following that logic, nobody has proven nor can they prove that it even exists. So ask yourself, do you know anybody who's lost their job, had to close their business, wasn't able to see a dying loved one, has been harassed and condemned as a crazy, non-compliant, uncaring nut job? Do you know families right now that are being destroyed because the breadwinners have been financially devastated in the name of keeping people safe from something that the Charlie Delta Charlie Corporation says isn't even measurable or available or even in existence? How many have gone and will go bankrupt? How many have gone and will go homeless? How many have lost everything? How many have and will commit suicide? How many have been deemed non-essential? How many weren't even able to get that life-saving procedure because of COVID? If what we're reading right here from Charlie Delta Charlie is true, countless tens of millions of lives have been utterly destroyed, liberties have been eroded, wealth has been transferred, and further devastation looms on the horizon as supply line disruptions rear their ugly heads. And if this weren't enough of a revelation to shock the world, Charlie Delta Charlie Corporation goes on to say that they're presenting a diagnostic PCR test to detect the virus that hasn't even been isolated. And the test is looking for RNA, which is presumed to come from the virus that hasn't even been proven to exist. And using this test, the Charlie Delta Charlie Corporation and every other public health agency in the world are counting COVID cases and deaths. Governments have instituted lockdowns and economic devastation, all based on those case and death numbers as justification. And they're also planning to use those numbers to justify a further intrusion into the bodies of every person on this planet by injecting the Gil Bates final solution savior of the world. And those who demand that you wear a mask today may well be the same ones who make you take the vax tomorrow. And here's the kicker. Mainstream media has the same access to this information as you and I have, and yet they won't do a damn thing about it. But what they will do is continue to promote the fabricated case numbers. And why do you think that is? Everything that you're seeing today in regard to COVID is a construct of belief. Those who are believing what the mainstream media, the government, Big Pharma, and Bill Gates tell them is based on something the Charlie Delta Charlie Corporation admits hasn't been isolated and isn't available. And yet they continue to test for that which they admit doesn't exist. It's all lies built on lies. And unfortunately, a lie will make its way halfway around the world before the truth has time to get its pants on. And the truth will always be treason in the empire of lies. What they're promoting on their 24/7 propaganda cycles is, we have $50 trillion. It's contained somewhere in our many accounts. We just don't know where it is. If you don't know where, then you don't know you have the money. What they're saying is, the COVID-19 is somewhere in the material we have. We just haven't removed it from that material, isolated it, purified it, verified it, or visualized it. But we know what it is, and we've identified it, and we know its structure. No, you don't. You assume that. And science is not assumptions. The fact is, science proves itself wrong far more than it proves itself right. Let that sink in and think about our current situation, which has been thrust upon us in the name of mostly wrong science. No science is immune to the infection of politics and the corruption of power. Science used to control you under the guise of keeping you safe is a science worth rejecting. Take a minute right now to share this video with everybody you know, everywhere you can on social media. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.